Hi, welcome to 3 Minutes with Rena. This being such an important holiday, July 4th, I remember reading in a book called The Light and the Glory by Peter Marshall, a true story about our first president, George Washington. At 23 years of age, he was actually a colonel in our American Army, our young nation, and he fought with the British against the French and Indians because France wanted to lay hold and take our territory. And so this was actually the first time that the Americans came together with Great Britain and fought together. And so General Braddock asked this 23-year-old young Colonel George to help him in this battle, and he said yes. And so as they're fighting, and I mean it was really bloody, the British were going down quickly because they would form these straight lines, and the Americans took to the trees, hiding behind them. They did a whole lot better. But anyway, he noticed, two of his horses died out from underneath him. So many things were coming against, arrows, rifles, all these things. He gets home and he's fine. Fast forward 15 years later, the chief, the Indian chief that was in charge of the Indians, met him and said these words. This is just a small excerpt of what he said. He said, the Indian chief said, "Our rifles were leveled, rifles which, but for you, knew not how to miss. 'Twas all in vain. A power mightier far than we shielded you," saying this to George. "Seeing you are under the special guardianship of the Great Spirit, we immediately ceased to fire at you." He said, "Now I am old, and soon shall be gathered to the great council fire of my fathers in the land of shades. But ere I go, there is something bids me speak in the voice of prophecy." This old Indian chief said, "Listen, the Great Spirit protects that man," pointing at Washington, "and guides his destinies. He will become the chief of nations, and a people yet unborn will hail him as the founder of a mighty empire. I'm going to pay homage to the man who is the particular favorite of heaven and who can never die in battle." You see, America was created as a lighthouse, to be a lighthouse of God's love to the nations. And he protected George Washington at that very battle for such a time as this. Oh, let's sing how great our country is. Let's continue to pray for our leaders that God would protect them and guide them as he did young George Washington. May the Lord bless you and keep you, and may he make his face shine upon you and give you his peace. God bless America.